All right. Part of me did not want to make this video today. I have been avoiding it, to be honest with you. I love my brother. It just doesn't ever. It's a sensitive thing. It's a sensitive topic, and it's always going to be sensitive. I will address one thing. We did put up the sign for the studio, so it looks really good. We're finally done with it, and you guys are going to be able to now see this as our studio. So I'm very excited for that. Before we get into talking about JJ today, what I'd like to do is I made a video for you guys, and I'd like you to just watch it with me and enjoy it, and just kind of set the tone of today. So I'm just going to show it to you. It's not super long, and yeah, I want to give you guys this. Just I'm running out of words right now, to be honest with you. All right, I'm just going to show you the video, man. So I wanted you guys to see him alive and well. He'd be 13 years old right now. And, I want those to be the memories that are out there. I want those to be the memories that people have, not the little kid that was found the way that he was. I want nothing more than for you guys to understand what a miracle JJ was. And I was actually just talking about it with Kelsey. We were having a conversation, and JJ was born very prematurely with drugs in his system, and he's a miracle. He was in the ICU. You couldn't even touch him, or his skin would literally wither. And he was an absolute miracle, and he became the biggest, strongest, one of the most strong kids you've ever seen in your life, and I mean that literally and figuratively. He, at a young age, could pull himself up in a pull-up. He had a very built body. He was very strong. And I remember before he could even look at you in the eye and talk, he could pull himself up on a counter. He would literally do pull-ups. And it was scary because you'd open up like the drawer, like a silverware, and he'd grab him and he could literally like almost muscle up. And so he was an amazing, amazing kid. He endured a fight from the beginning. And I have a million more pictures I could show you and videos. And one day I will make something that's worth showing everyone about all of the family that I have. But with that being said, today I just wanted to really let you guys know that it is important to remember people like JJ and Tylee and Charles and Tammy as not victims, but as people that are no longer here. So I am unbelievably grateful for the time I had with JJ. And it wasn't long. In the grand scheme of things, it was not a long time. My daughter is almost my daughter is almost as old as JJ was when he was taken. If you really think about that, right? It's not a long life. The impact that JJ had in his 7 years was immense on everybody. Everyone at his school knew who he was and loved him and mourned him. He had lots of friends, lots of family, and a lot of people love JJ. And they mourn him because JJ was not only a fun, silly kid, JJ taught me how to be myself without caring what anybody else thinks. JJ did not care. He didn't think about what you thought about him. And his boldness and his kindness in that way, where he wouldn't conform to anything. And yes, I think one of my favorite things about JJ was how smart he was, because it was not even funny how much smarter he was than me in so many different areas. He could watch one video and understand something. He was into surgery. He was into 747 planes. He would like to watch planes be built on YouTube. My kids like Blippi and their shows. JJ liked to watch some of the most complex engineering and hardest jobs you could possibly have as a surgeon. So that was JJ in a nutshell for you. Um, this is a good question, and I'll answer this. So I was 17 years old when we got JJ. And I'll be 1000% honest. I ridiculed my mom for the decision to have him in our lives. I was very angry at her. And it took me a long time. I had to work through this exact incident in therapy. But I wondered, why was I so against JJ coming into our lives? Well, at first I thought when I was a kid, it's like, well, we're almost all grown. Why would you bring a baby into our lives? And then the next part was, the truth was, now our mom's attention is going to be given to someone else. But not only that, I don't think, and I had a lot of issues with my mom that I didn't understand, but I learned that I was also did not want my mom to have someone else to be in charge of. And I didn't learn that till way later in therapy. I bring that up because I was the most against us having JJ in the beginning, and I was harsh about it. It's because I rejected the idea of bringing in this little boy into our family. And within 3 days, I was I was walking up into his room to make sure he was okay in his crib and breathing. I would do every little thing I could to make sure he was okay. And I mean, it took no time for me to fall in love with JJ and have my own special bond. He was a special kid, man. There's not a lot of kids like JJ. There was no one like JJ. And we Tylee and I specifically really grew into caretakers for JJ. And my memories of taking care of JJ, babysitting him, having that time with him are what I have left in pictures. What I want JJ to be remembered for is what he taught me specifically, not only to be yourself, but JJ didn't shy away and you can see it on the videos. He lived life in a fearless way. And there's not a lot of kids who live that way, who think fearlessly. JJ was fearless, and I love that and respect that and appreciate that about him. There is always going to be a hole in my heart for JJ and for Tylee and for Charles. I'll always miss them. Days like this can be emotional, and that's okay. I've learned that it's okay to be emotional. Um, the reality is, what, babe? Hold on, I gotta get Ava. Give me 1 second. All right, we had a bathroom emergency there. She had to go to the bathroom. Yeah, Tylee was taking those pictures, which is what makes him so special. He loved he was a danger kid. He loved it. Me and him we were just the boys. The two wrestlers, the wrestlers, the crazy boys, the throw you in that pool, see how far we can go away from the pool to throw you in the pool. And he was my little dude, man. Being so much older than him, you just have a different kind of brotherly role, more of a caretaker's role. And like I said, I did have that role with him. And it did teach me how to be kind of like a parent in an early point in my life. But the beautiful thing that I have is those videos, those memories. That's what's always going to matter. Um, I want to continue to spread the message that people who are taken in horrible ways can and will always be victims to the crime that they were part of. But the reality is, for me, is JJ's always going to be my little brother, just as much as Tylee's my little sister. And, we have an interesting family dynamic, right? Like, Charles was not my biological father, but he's my dad. JJ's not my biological brother, but he's my brother. And Tylee is my half sister. And none of that matters. That's my family. Those are the people I loved, and those are the people that we mourn. And JJ never got to live the life at all that he deserved. He didn't even have a chance at life. Not a single chance. He didn't get the time to develop and become something. And in light of all of those things, JJ left an impact on the world. And I feel, as his brother and someone who loves him, to share with you what he left with this world. And again, I'm going to reiterate it just for you to hear it, to know it. Be yourself. Be true to yourself. Find out who you are. And be fearless in who you are. Be fearless of judgment. Be fearless if someone doesn't like you. Be fearless that if you're striving for good things and striving for the right things, then you're on the right path. And enjoy yourself. And don't take yourself so seriously. Have fun. Let your feelings be felt. JJ is a great example. And I don't even know, and it doesn't matter if it was that he was young He was so smart beyond. I can't even explain to you how smart this kid was. He was very, very intelligent. And I'll address the hard part is a question that I get a lot of things that I see other people ask is, well, why would God allow it? Why did God let this happen? You believe in God. Why would God allow that to happen? And I don't have an answer for that. What I will tell you is it doesn't mean that what who JJ is or what he came down on this earth to accomplish wasn't accomplished. And yeah, his life was taken too fast and too short. And I'm sure he had a lot more that he could have done. The reality is, this is not God's will for JJ. This was something that God allowed to happen. And that doesn't mean that I hate God for that. We do not understand what God understands, and we do not know everything. One thing I will always say, one thing I will say is this loss in my heart is going to continue to only produce good for others. Doing something entirely Charles and JJ's name that helps others, that brings awareness, that does something more for the world, we have the opportunity to turn this whole thing into something better for others, awareness for others. And that's all we can do in situations like this. I will forever miss my family and my brother. I don't talk about my family lightly, you know, it's not a light subject, but it is the reality. And it's been years. This is for all the people who have lost someone they love and are grieving. And it's been a long time, and it doesn't feel in these moments like anything has changed. But all we have is a path forward. And I think my personal opinion is that JJ's hope and dream for everyone here who mourns him, who loves him, is to continue to do the best in their life that they can and help others. I genuinely believe that. I can't speak for JJ, but that's what according to what I know, what he would want to be a better person, to fight for what's right, to stand up for others, to bring awareness to situations. I try to bring awareness on this channel to situations where parents could be going down the wrong path. Um, so I'll say this. JJ's memory lives on through everybody who knows him. Please do not think of JJ only as a victim to a crime. I hope you see JJ Vallow as a young, amazing little boy who brought a lot to this world in a very short amount of time and left a big impact, a big one. And the peace that you get to all of you who mourn loss. Give me 1 second. I got it. I got it. I promise I got it. To all of you who mourn, your peace is that your loved one went home. And when they go home, they're pain free. They're pain free and they don't suffer anymore. And they don't have to feel that they are relieved. They're relieved of all pain, all sorrow. And that is peace. That is peace. It's not just the memorial, which is for us. It's truly knowing that there's peace for them. Um, why I show you this picture the most, let me pull it back up, has brought me a lot of peace. I got this, someone drew this for us a while ago. Um, this picture right here, let me find it. I'm sorry. This right here. I don't know how to show you this picture. There we go. Sorry. This right here. This picture was drawn for us by an artist right there. This picture brings me a lot of peace, and it has. This picture is beautiful, and it brings you that hope, and it brings you that peace of mind that you don't have to think if they're hurting, if they're going through horrible things, and it's just peace. It's peace. So I'll leave you with a message today. Like I said, find your heart, find your convictions. It's okay to mourn, and it's okay that things are not going to feel normal ever again. That doesn't mean you won't find a new normal, a new version of yourself that can survive this and then become a thriver, become someone who can cope with all the loss and can be happy again. I think the story of JJ brings hope that in the midst of the pain, you still can be happy. In the midst of the loss, you still can find happiness and you can find peace. And I think that is something that the world searches for their whole lives. You can find it after an enormous amount of loss. You can find peace and find your way through it. No matter how dark your path looks, no matter how hard it is, no matter how great the loss, you can make it. So that is my message for you today. I wanted to honor my little brother. I wanted everyone to see him smiling, happy as he was. That's who he is. That's who he is. I love you guys, and I'll see you very soon.